Dr. Seuss, in his classic book, Oh, the Places You'll Go, writes this about something he calls a waiting place. The waiting place for people just waiting. Waiting for a train to go, or a bus to come, or a plane to go, or the mail to come, or the rain to go, or the phone to ring, or the snow to snow, or waiting around for a yes or no. As a church, we are in a waiting place. We call it Advent. And we're really waiting for two things. One, to celebrate the feast of Christmas, the coming of the Lord into humanity. And secondly, to acknowledge the fact that we are waiting for the second, or the final coming of the Lord. And the first 2 weeks generally focus more on the final coming than for Christmas. We heard nothing about angels and mangers or shepherds in the readings today. It was about the coming of the Lord. Like he will come like a thief in the night, and we need to be prepared. While the church invites us to make these weeks a positive waiting experience, it's really not passive waiting that we should be engaged in, but active searching. For one thing, we're encouraged to look at our own lives and to see how we might be living in contradiction to the gospel. It's not as acute as the season of Lent, but Advent does have this aspect of reparation and reconciliation with the Lord. Paul, for example, encourages us to put off the things of darkness and put on the things of light. Paul often makes use of this image of clothing, that he sees us dressing in layers, and over all of them, he says, you put on Christ. So in a sense, this active searching is first to search for ways that we have put on things that don't enable us to be seen by ourselves or others as active disciples of the Lord. We've allowed things to be piled on us over these days, and Advent is a time to become aware of that and to try to shed it. We might be trying to shed something active like lying or cheating, or passive as in ignoring the needs, the legitimate needs of others. Maybe Paul's original list has some relevance. Drunkenness, promiscuity, lust, rivalry, jealousy. How is it that we need to put Christ on in our lives? We may not have to look any farther than our own family, our friends, our school, our workplace. How can we actively search on putting Christ into those worlds of ours? Some suggest that we use as an image of Advent a door where Christ is waiting on one side and we are on the other. An artist by the name of Walter Salmon put this into a picture which depicts Christ standing on one side of the door and we're on the other, and the only doorknob is on our side, because he's trying to get across the point that it's up to us to really open the door, to let Christ in. And that really is our challenge for these weeks of Advent, to realize that the Lord wants to come into our lives, into our hearts, but the door only opens one way. We have the power to let Christ in or to keep him waiting on the other side. So, in addition to shopping and addressing Christmas cards and decorating our homes, we need to pose to ourselves the Advent question. How are we waiting or actively searching during this season to let Christ take over our lives? And we're not the only ones waiting. In a sense, Christ is in his own waiting room, waiting for our yes or no.